Looks good. So we are live, I guess. I'm just gonna wait for a couple people to trickle in, and I guess I can just start talking about the deck, about the build. It's been consistent lately. I don't think there's been any changes since Thursday when I last played the deck. Recent changes include going from 2 Teferis down to 1 with the extra slot, adding in the second Uro. It's just a card that does a ton. When we need to gain life, Uro's there. Even if one of them gets pathed or something, we still have a second one that we can call for. Gaining life, ramping us, coming in as a huge 6/6 that generates value. It's just it's an excellent card, one of the best cards in the format, and something that we like to have 2 of, I think. And then 2 Skyclaves, pretty new additions. The Glasspool Mimic is probably the most recent addition, but I did have it last week during the stream. It's a land, so actually I trimmed the snow-covered plains, one of them. I trimmed one of my plains to make room for. It's kind of weird for a blue land. You'd think I might want to trim an island, but the second plains is a little bit unnecessary. It was kind of a nod to the addition of 2 Skyclaves with the double white. But still, just 1 snow-covered plain is usually fine, I think. The only time it's not optimal is when we're playing against Blood Moon. But then we have to not have Force. We have to not have Night of Autumn. We have to not have Ether Vial in order to have the 1 plains bite us. So I do think 1 plains is just fine. Hey Contra, hey DV Neil, welcome to the stream, guys. Good to see you. How are you guys doing this evening, and how was your weekend? Monday's always a busy work day for me, but I'm happy to be here, trying to relax, playing some Magic. I have grown to like Thassa a little bit more as I've played with it, and I'm trying to evolve the way that I conceive of the card, the way that I think of it, because in the past I thought of it simply as a 4-drop, hard to remove Soulherder, effectively, that occasionally can become a big creature and attack. But the activated ability is actually really significant, and more often than not, up to this point, I've sort of forgotten about it in general. So as far as how I'm conceiving of it now, I'm kind of trying to think of it as a combination of Soulherder and Lavinia of the 10th, in the sense that I would often chord for Lavinia in situations where I've got a bunch of dorks and I want to Alpha Strike. So Lavinia enters the battlefield. She says nothing. I think it's 4 CMC, maybe it's 3 CMC, but I think it's 4 CMC. But whatever it is, it's something CMC below. Can't block and can't activate. So obviously, since they can't block, it's a way to just end games. So yeah, it's 4 or less. It's just been a while since I played with it. So effectively, it can shut off things like Planeswalkers, prevent attacks. It can be a defensive card, but often how I would use this card is just when I finally want to just win the game, I would get Lavinia on the battlefield and just attack with everybody. Opponent can't block. Thassa, if we actually sort of remember her activated ability and try to make good use of it, in a long game when we've got 8 mana out, you can call for her, vial her in. On the opponent's end step, you can tap 2 of their creatures, untap tap 2 more of their creatures, and then just sort of hopefully win the game. So it's not as straightforward in that sense as Lavinia, but we can tap creatures of any CMC, whereas Lavinia, limits to 4 and below. And of course, Thassa generates tons of value by herself, just blinking our creatures. So again, just trying to sort of evolve the way that I think about this card, because I think there's more to it than I had sort of given it credit for. Hey, Phil Swifty, welcome to the stream. Let's see, what are people? Somebody's saying something. Okay. All right, so I think I'm just going to jump in. Hey, Kale, welcome to the stream. Good to see all you guys. Unless you have any questions about the deck before I start, I think the most recent adjustment to the sideboard was just going up to a second Ceremonious Rejection. In the unfortunate event that we get paired against Tron, we actually have some game there. Otherwise, the deck has been feeling good. It's just, you know, it's my Ether Vial Soulherder build. And I've been pretty comfortable with it. So, let's try to relax, enjoy ourselves. M. Hayashi is pulling away from the crowd once again, with 22 trophies already in the cycle, with 13 weeks left to go. Jesus, how many trophies did he have last time? That's crazy. I have 0 trophies. M. Hayashi is infinitely better than I am. Yeah, Contra. I know that's your favorite card in my 75 is the Gaia's Blessing. Hopefully my web camera looks a little bit better this evening. It is a new web camera. Before tonight, I was using the system web camera, and I do video stuff for my work. So I actually had to set up like multiple new web cameras, both sort of on my laptop and sort of externally. But this one I think looks significantly better than the system one did. It's a little bit slow but I think we can probably work with it, particularly on the play. And so I think I'll probably just play a little bit weird, the hand. I mean, the land sequencing. Opponent's mulliganing to 4, so it makes me think that they're on Tron or some degenerate combo deck. So maybe Skyclave can help us there. Oh, Leyline of Sanctity. So maybe Boggles. I don't think, we're not going to want to target them too much. So Skyclave, if it is Boggles, then Skyclave, not amazing. Well, it is pretty good in the matchup because we can get rid of like an important... let's just pause, think about... So Eladamri's Call on turn 2 probably, right? So go get green-blue. Can probably just play the plains then. See how it goes. I do like having the one path, just in case they kept a hand with Core Spirit Dancer. I like the Boggles matchup, even though we, it is losable. Oh god, it's like this oops all spells thing. Jesus, I think we might just lose. So the way I beat this last time, I think, was... Well, I don't know. I can't even remember which version it was. There's like a bunch of different versions. I'm not even sure what I want to get here with Eladamri's Call. So they're just looking to play like Balustrade Spy, which I'm not even sure if it's a 3-drop or a 4-drop. And if they play it, I'm pretty sure I just lose. But I'm not sure, like, because Saffron Olive played a version where it was winning with things like prized amalgams from the graveyard in addition to like a bunch of creeping chills. So if they're trying to go like attacks, then obviously Stonehorn would be interesting. Now, also Deputy, but I don't have... I don't even know what I'm playing against, guys. Like, honestly, I played against it once a while ago, and I sort of forget what their win condition was. I think they just kind of fizzled against me. So maybe I'm just taking next turn off to cast Soulherder, but then I kind of want to think about what the follow-up is. I'm not exactly sure what I'm losing to here. So maybe I just get Stonehorn. I've already got nice pieces in my hand. So let's assume that they're attacking, and you guys can sort of laugh at me when they just kill me with like a fireball or something. Hey, Cactus. I have no idea what they're going to beat me with here. I think it's like this Balustrade Spy stuff. But they did mulligan to 4 with sort of a pointless... Oh, God. I got Stonehorn and they have Leyline. I can't even target Leyline. Because I can't even target the opponent with Stonehorn. Oh, is this going to be... This could just be, like the Goblin Charbelcher. Like, that was what the other win condition was. It was Charbelcher. So now I'm going to untap and just kill their Talisman. So Stonehorn, totally the wrong call. I should just be going for like more and more Skyclaves, I think. Well, Teferi's kind of nice as well because he just bounces stuff, and but I could get a bunch of blink value with Skyclave, but then I give them a creature. I think Teferi's probably good here because I want to draw a card. Although, hang on, I could just play Eternal Witness, get back a land, play Ether Vial. I think that probably seems better. Because they should not be able to play the Charbelcher and activate it next turn. Oh, well, the one that I played against last time had these same lands, and then they went Charbelcher. So, I feel like bouncing this ramp spell is probably pretty good. So what's the play? I'd like to hit my lands, but at the same time, I feel like just like slowing them down is probably pretty good. And I draw a card this way, so the version that I played against had the talismans. They had a ramp artifact because I bounced it, and then they played a. It's possible I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that that's what happened. Pentad Prism. So now they have a bunch of mana. Deck refuses to let me draw my next land. Of course, again, I can play Eternal Witness, play a land, play Ether Vial, but against a combo deck like this, just have to hope they don't really have anything here. Growing like a big Soulherder is probably the way to go. I guess like a Force would be our best draw. So in that sense, maybe like Coiling Oracle to just like draw cards is probably best here. If I draw a Force, though, I don't have another blue card to pitch. So in kind of a tough spot. Could just blow up their Pentad Prism and, continue. I think that's probably what I'll do. So this is going to give them a 2/2, but getting rid of their manas. Are they attacking Teferi here? In which case, I think he's just going to eat it. Certainly not worth blocking here. So I have one turn to kill this thing, right? So I guess I need to do that right now. Opponent down to one card, so hopefully we're doing pretty well. Path to Exile, I should mention, is like the best removal spell in the world against these guys since they have no lands, right? Okay, we'll play an Oracle now. Hopefully draw a Force. No Force. Actually, they're playing these creatures, so I guess Force doesn't even matter really, right? So if they have the creature, another creature, I think we just lose. All right. So anyhow, they're going to get a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, and they're going to hit us with a bunch of Creeping Chills. I don't know that it actually ends the game, though it may, because, well, we have to blow up Leyline. I don't really want to look at their deck. Yeah, it's all the creeping chills and such. So we need to blow up the ley line in order for Stonehorn to actually work. Because Stonehorn doesn't target, it can't target them, so. We do have another path. So creeping chills. Oh, Sword of the Meek. Interesting. Jesus. All right. Well, we do have a path. 3 Swords of the Meek. I guess they have something in their deck that lets them like shuffle things back or something. Vengevine. Oh my god. So, all right. So I'm toast. I was correct. Like Stonehorn Dignitary. So but they saw that I got it. So I'm just dead. They saw that I got Stonehorn Dignitary. So they know about the card, but if they weren't paying close attention, then they might. It's possible they're watching my stream right now because they asked me why I'm not playing Merfolk recently. If they keep Leyline in, that it makes it harder for us to get Stonehorn going, but good to know that it is an attacking deck. I do want to leave Stonehorn in. So anyhow, yeah. So Veil of Summer not good. If they bring in Charbelcher, then Ceremonious would be good, but otherwise it's not really good. Path is good-ish, but really like they come with so many creatures and with haste, right? So Ashiok doesn't really do anything. Worship does something, right? Night of Autumn blows a lot of stuff up. Force seems pretty good just to counter their ramp, I guess. It's a combo deck. They have non-creature spells in the deck. I'm not sure how important Force is in the matchup. Auriok Champion, not going to gain that much life because it's all Vengevines and Narcomoebas. But why Champion? I mean, it gains life when creatures enter, but it's only gaining 1 life, and then they're swinging and hitting me for like a bazillion. Worship is definitely good. I mean, why Ashiok? What are they searching their? They're not searching their deck for anything, right? They just hit their creature and then they just flip their deck. I can't get rid of their graveyard because it all comes back right away. So Ashiok, the search doesn't matter, and the graveyard, I'm not going to have time for it. Purge is red and black, and I don't think that there's really anything we're concerned about there. I'm just dying if they get any of their creatures, basically. So I don't actually think I even want the individual paths. I think I just need to bounce their stuff. Mill them. Ugh. I mean, what does milling even do? It's as a win condition, I guess. I think we're just basically looking for worship and like trying not to lose. We can see if Ashiok would actually do anything, but I don't. Do I have anything really bad? I mean, Uro's a little slow. We can bring in 1 Ashiok for that. Maybe both Uros for Ashiok and see if it's good, because you guys seem to think it's good, but I don't think it's very good. Opponent says, I've been trying to brew something with Deprive plus Mystic Sanctuary, but I only have the deck in paper, and it's no longer a budget deck when you have forces. Yeah, that interaction is sweet. Also Deprive plus Mimic. All right, well, we have an Ether Vial here. I mean, I think I probably have to keep this and hope that we draw land. I mean, I don't even know what the plan is, honestly. It's, like, play Worship, basically. We need a lot of lands to get there. It seems like a really, really rough matchup. The Charbelcher one seems better because I can just counter their spells. This reminds me of Inverter combo that we played last week. Like ETB creature sort of abilities that wreck us. I'm going to get blue-white here, I think. Kind of a rough start. Are we getting Thoughtseize? We're getting Thoughtseize. All right, I mean, whatever. I need to take Skyclave, but I've got the Witness. We just need to draw lands here. I have a feeling the opponent might be watching the stream, but maybe not. This is a Prism. Talisman. All right, well, they're ramping a little bit. We might just lose next turn. How does one stop this deck? What's the best hate? Like Rest in Peace, I guess. Rest in Peace is a pretty hard answer, I guess. Well, any kind of graveyard hate, I guess. Like Relic sounds good. Because they flip their deck all at once. So Relic is good, Rest in Peace is good. Ooze is not very good, right? Because you're only going to get like maybe 3 or 4 activations on Scooz, but they're hitting you with 4 Creeping Chills, 4 Vengevines, Narcomoeba with like 3 swords strapped to it. Already played my land. We got that. I mean, there's very, very little that we can draw, I think, to stop what they're doing. I mean, Worship or Stonehorn. Opponent thought seizing me. I think I'm just going to let this resolve. They take what they want here. They took the Eternal Witness. Not sure that was the right call. Well, Vengevines trigger when you cast creatures, right? So you're casting these 2 golems, but they retain priority, right? So Balustrade comes in, all the triggers go on the stack. Oh, so the triggers go on the stack, preventing them from doing sorcery speed stuff. So they can't cast any creatures with all those triggers on the stack. They're playing another Talisman, Pentad Prism. I mean, it seems like countering this might be okay, so let's go ahead and vial this in and see if we draw Force. They are at 10 already. Skyclave is interesting. No, I mean, Eternal Witness is interesting, and then I looked at Skyclave. So basically just like any kind of graveyard hate does a great job. I mean, all they have to do is draw a land to beat us, right? But we could be attacking for lethal next turn. Yeah, exactly. Exactly lethal. This has 1 counter on it, so I feel like I want to hit that. Opponent knows about the Watcher. They don't know about the Force. But odds are, if they're casting a non-creature spell, I probably don't want to counter it because I'd like to win with attacking with Watcher. Um, yeah, it's a creature. I think I took all my paths out. Unfortunate. Um, so unless I can find some way to blink Skyclave, or just draw another one. Hmm. I mean, Stonehorn is a thing. All right, let's put Stonehorn underneath, I guess. Take up our Ether Vials. Oh, they exiled Simian Spirit Guide, so I'm pretty sure I'm just toast here. Man. I'm just going to say good games, I guess, right? Good luck with the rest. All right, well, I mean, if they didn't have the Simian Spirit Guide, I think we could have possibly gotten there. I'm going to concede and then see what was on the top of the deck. If it was like an Ephemerate, I think we would have been okay. Let's draw a card. Oh, Skyclave could have killed that guy. All right, so I mean, the deck has some kind of game without any sort of real graveyard hate. If they didn't have the Simian Spirit Guide, I could have vialed this guy in, blown that thing up, and then they hopefully would have just still been on the back foot. I would have had no. I mean, that would have just been the game, right? Because I would have attacked for 8 here, and we would have lost the game. So it was that Simian Spirit Guide that made the difference. On to the next round. Nice sometimes to have quick games. That guy's got two undefeated trophies. So that is the first time I've seen that deck in a while. I only saw it that previous time, and as I mentioned, they boarded into Charbelcher because they had a really weird opening hand in game 1, and I just sort of steamrolled them. And then they went for Charbelcher in game 2, and I just like blew it up with Knight of Autumn before they had a chance to untap. So if I start to run into this a lot, I would probably go back to Rest in Peace in the sideboard, I guess. This is a beautiful hand. Opponent's keeping their 7. Is this going to be like Storm and just wreck me without a force? So I think a basic here would be good. Then if I draw another basic, I can play Canopy Vista untapped. I mean, it's really a nice opening hand, but not the best opening hand against Storm. So I think we're just going to get turn 3'd here. Like a path would help, I guess. Ugh, this is disgusting because I've got some hate here, but I've only got one blue card in hand, and it's the one that I need to play right now. All right. I mean, two combo decks just doing their thing in games rounds 1 and 2 here. Nah, it wouldn't benefit from some dorks. We're running Ether Vial instead of dorks. It's a very conscientious decision. I'm not going to drag this out. Just as soon as they cast Past in Flames, I'll just scoop. No, I don't want to test it. There's not enough space in the deck, I don't think, so... They're going to look at the top 6 cards. They can reveal an instant or sorcery card, put it into their hand. They put Remand into their hand. All right, well, we get to untap, which is more than I expected. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not into running 4 Ether Vials and 4 Dorks. It's just way too much air. It's like running, like, I don't know, whatever. Let's just continue. Remand. I mean, I can file in the Coiling Oracle and see what happens. Remand is a little bit annoying. I don't really have... I mean, if I get a path and they remand it, let's start by vialing this thing in. Okay. Well, they have a remand for Force, but I don't have a blue card for Force. So I think I need to go for, like, Ephemerate here. And then if they remand the Ephemerate, then I'm just going to cast Ephemerate again, and we're hoping to draw a blue card, basically. They could also just have, like, a Bolt, which would be kind of nasty. All right, so going back to my hand. Saw that coming. Unfortunately, still can't get a basic here. And we'll get another blue-white. And yeah, this is kind of important here that I draw a blue card. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'm just out of it. Yep. I think I'm playing pretty tightly, but if we get to untap again, we get to Skyclave the Goblin, but it seems extremely unlikely now. They've got 4 lands. If they have the Past in Flames, they can just cast it. Okay, double cost reducers now. And just grape-shotting my creatures. I can dig it. All right, all right. Eternal Witness doesn't really care about that. So this is one of those sort of sideways storm games where, like, they just start attacking you with their Goblin Electromancer. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. I can't catch the rebound, but, you know, it is what it is. That's interesting. Let's see. So I think the Hardcast Force, they, like, might remand it or something. Then I can vial in Eternal Witness, get back, like, a Coiling Oracle and pitch it to Force. Not really scared about my life total, I don't think. But I didn't have... No, it was just 2 and 0. My Ether Vials were on 2 and 0. So no creatures were going to enter the battlefield here. I can't. Are you guys watching? I had Ether Vial on 2 and Ether Vial on 0. What creature am I going to put on the battlefield? You mean... Oh, I see. Hold on. Maybe I'm just tired. Stack it, resolve it, vial it in. I think you guys are correct. I think that I'm just not on top of my stuff here. So getting a basic would be nice here. I totally could have caught it. You guys, I think you guys are correct. And I should be better with that now that I've been playing Ether Vial for a while, but it comes up surprisingly rarely. So I probably just want to blow up one of their things before they get to untap here. I'll pause on their upkeep. Yeah, I don't really drink coffee. Does the opponent know about my force? They do. They know about my force. So let's just get rid of one of these stupid cost reducers. And when I say one of them, I mean the Goblin Electromancer. Because they can have multiple Barals, and I don't know. I know they get value when they counter things with Baral. But also, this guy can't attack. I said I didn't worry about my life. Not really worried about my life total, but I guess I am a little bit. Do they have a remand here? That would be really annoying. What? And I have no blue cards in my hand. This is like if I stacked the Ether Vials correctly, I could have done this. I could have had this. This is my own fault here. But now they have no mana, I guess, right? Or that's at least I think how it should be. They could play a land, or maybe they did already. I don't think they played a land yet. But they just cast Past in Flames. So if they don't have a land, they should be able to do nothing. Yeah. So anyhow, when I have Ether Vials coming online with an Ephemerate, in the future, put Ephemerate on the bottom, stack my Ether Vials. I've done it before. I've even done it on the stream. So what did they remand? They remanded their they targeted Past in Flames. Okay, so my Force of Negation is going to go to the graveyard, but I've got an Eternal Witness for that. Okay, so do they have a land here? Doesn't matter anymore, really, because they just remanded their Past in Flames. Now I get to blow up their Baral. But I can't really. I still need to draw kind of a blue card, I think. Basic blue. I wouldn't say we're super lucky. I've had a force, and opponent is like they didn't have the absolute nuts. I don't think I would say we're super lucky here. I think getting back the force is probably much more important here than popping the Baral. And to that end, I think I probably want to play the Breeding Pool tapped. I could be greedy and vial in Witness, get back Oracle, and hope to draw a force, but that just seems ridiculous. Let's play this tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent's got the redraw with Eyelid, if that's how they want to do it. Past in Flames again that they remanded. Now, blowing up the Baral here makes it much harder for them to get value, but they have so many rituals in the graveyard, so I do need to force it. If they have a remand, I think I'm just out of it now. But they remanded the Past in Flames last time, so maybe they would do the same thing. They can't really cast Past in Flames again and go off, so let's see how this goes. Be amazing if it resolved. I mean, this is kind of what our deck does, so saying we're getting super lucky is inaccurate, I think. If you're saying that it's that Storm is playing badly, they did keep 7 cards. They did have their turn 2 cost reducing creature, I believe. All right, so I think they're going to wipe our board here. They'll get a 2/2. So yeah, I mean they kill turn 3 and 4, but you know if you have counter spells, then you can interact with them, you know? Opponent going to crack their eyelid, I'm sure, and go up to 2 cards and then 3 on their turn. So we do need something good here. That's something good. It is something good. So with them on 1 card in hand, and they're going to go up to 3, I think I'm going to call for Eternal Witness. Let's play this. Call for Eternal Witness, and then I can get back call, but then I can't quite cast. Maybe I should have ticked this up to 3 as well. I mean, we just have to. I'd love to get back call here and start generating value, but we need the force right now. And I still don't have blue cards to pitch to force, so. All right, there's those 3 cards. Got a lot of land. Serum Visions is going to resolve. So I'm reading that they don't have it here. So I'm going to vial in my Apparition and kill their Baral. Okay. So now I can start generating some value, I think. I'm going to tick these both up to 3. Yeah, but they have Grape Shot in the graveyard. I can't risk countering that, even though it's kind of a nice target. If they have the Remand here, they can't cast anything this turn. The opponent just conceded from the game. That's awesome. All right. That's a good win. So we bring in Knight. It's just a nice attacker. It can blow up Arya. Ashiok's awesome. Force is awesome. Purge. Purge is too narrow. Gaia's Blessing is too slow. Ether Gust is too narrow. Veil is great because it hits gifts and also obviously Remand. And as far as the 4th path, I think it's probably worth it. I like taking them off of their cost-reducing creatures. We do have the 2 Skyclaves. I think Thassa is probably too slow for the matchup. Stonehorn, not really relevant. We have Deputy for that, getting rid of all their goblins. I've played against like Storm in game 2 very often. They just try to like storm off on turn 2, even just like they'll do like ritual, and then just like goblins, and then they'll just kill you with 8 goblins. So Deputy is great in that spot. Uro is really not that super useful in the matchup. I think I can take Mimic out. Watcher is pretty nice. If we're going to call for creatures, I mean, really, there's not that many creatures we want to call for, except for Skyclaves. Could probably trim at least one call. I mean, really, like, Forces and Eternal Witnesses are sort of the path to victory, like we did there. So Eternal Witness, I do like leaving in some number of calls to be able to get access to the graveyard. I mean, maybe Night is excessive because we already have Skyclaves that deal with Aria, and they might not even draw it. I think this is probably fine. All right, up a game against Storm. I think I have 16 minutes left, so I used like exactly a third of my clock there, which is just fine. I'm significantly behind the opponent on the clock, but there was a lot of thinking to do in that game, I think. I think there was a lot of thinking. Okay. If this was any other land, I'd probably... Oh my god, 2 Forces. You know what? This is a kind of hand you keep against Storm. And it gets there. Just on the back of 2 Forces. We've got Call to get Eternal Witness. And we could always just draw like a non-Canopy Vista land for our first... I'm going to keep this. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to keep 2. I mean, blue cards are great as well. We're just countering their stuff. They can have that one. It's like any land now is just excellent to get Aether Vial on the battlefield. I don't care so much that Canopy Vista will enter the battlefield tapped on turn 2, but entering tapped on turn 1 is kind of rough. Oh my god, that's awesome. So opponent went top bottom with their Scry. All right, so like basic plains or basic island would be nice next turn. So here's Baral, right on time. I'm gonna take up that Aether Vial. Oh my god, all right, the deck is hooking it up. That means I can get, I can actually call for a blue creature to double, you know what, maybe I just want to path this guy on their upkeep. Or do I want to sort of wait to see what they're doing and then maybe call for Eternal Witness? If I try to path on their upkeep and they remand it, I'm pretty sure I need to fight the remand at that point, which is annoying, and I would probably just pitch the Ice Fang, and keeping Ice Fang in hand to keep the cards coming seems pretty good. So, I mean, waiting seems okay, right? Because if they try to combo off, I can just force. Yeah, it looks like they might not have it right now. They went top. They did go top. Well, this is working out well for us here, I think. They went bottom there. So now, I think I have to call. Or do I just want to path here? They're stuck on lands, which sort of seems nice to me. I think I just want to call here. Yeah, I think if they're stuck on lands, like, not pathing is probably intelligent. So maybe like Soulherder is super slow, but it's a blue card. Deputy is good in the matchup. I can play Deputy and just take them off of Baral in that way. Um, but as I was saying, Eternal Witness to start getting back forces seems awesome. So I think just having access to Eternal Witness is probably the way to go. I could also just get a Skyclave, but I already have a path, so I think Eternal Witness is probably best here. Okay, well, I mean, that's actually okay, I think. They're not going to cycle that islet, right? All right, so they're ritualing here. I think I let that go. I think I path this guy right now. And I'm sort of fine with them resolving pieces. It's not like a combo piece in itself. They found a Monomorphos and a Remand. Now, if they make goblins here, speaking of goblins, I do have to play slightly faster, I think. Veil is amazing, actually. They do have a Remand in hand. That's pretty nice. Just crack that right away for basic blue. Just don't waste any time. And since I'm not... thanks, Cactus. I'm going to do my best. Sleep well, and thanks for the support, as always. They know I have the Eternal Witness here. No attack. Interesting. So maybe I just get Ewit down now. If they tap out to like to do gifts on my turn, that would be pretty awesome. I think Call is probably great here. Maybe I just get like Deputy now or something. Are we going to get... Okay, they're remanding it. Okay, I could Veil that right now. They would still... They still draw a card, though. I'll just let that resolve. It's okay with me. Okay, more blue lands is pretty nice. That means I can call right now, which I think I will. And is this getting remanded again? Once again, that's sort of okay. I'm not going to fight over this. Opponent's cycling a lot of those remands. We don't know anything in their hand at this point, but they are on 8 cards. So they have a Ritual here. Electromancer. Empty the Warren. So, you know, now I can just get Deputy. That's fine. And now I will spend the Veil for sure. So patience, you know. We will get Deputy of Detention. And we'll just sort of wait a little while, I think. No, I'm going to do it now because if they like bolt the Deputy with its ability on the stack, I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm trying to like force a lightning bolt. This is much cleaner. Hey, Mistaken. Welcome to the stream. I'm up a game against Storm, but I got beaten by Oops All Spells. Just going to try to fight over this now. Opponent with 4 cards in hand. They've cast, like, I think all of their remands at this point. Are you really remanding this man? Okay, Mystical Dispute. We're not going to pay for it, no. But we are going to counter this. And I can't be greedy and Violin Oracle and hope to draw a blue card. So let's go ahead and pitch Oracle, and then we put ourselves in top deck mode. I mean, we've got Ephemerates, we've got Soulherder, we've got more Eternal Witnesses, as all as beautiful outs in this spot. Opponent down to 3 cards. They do have an Islet that they can redraw. Ashiok is fun. And I think I'll just attack. I could just leave it back as a blocker, but damage is damage. So now I think it becomes significantly harder for them to win with no graveyard, right? And if they can't go off this turn, then I get to kill their graveyard on my turn. They put the card on top there. Abrading my Deputy. Fair enough. Yeah, they can. But so now Ashiok down if they attack, which I imagine they will. But, you know, again, tons and tons of beautiful top decks that we can have here. Aether Vial not among them. So now I just leave back the Icefang Coatl, I think. And in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to play out that Aether Vial. Gifts targeting, okay, targeting me. We might have let this one slip away. The Abrade and Lightning Bolt was pretty rough for us. So, so Ritual, 2 cards left in hand. Monomorphose. They've got to have the Past in Flames, and I'm pretty sure we're toast here. They get to Gifts again, which is rough, but we're just F6, so this, you know, just let them play this out, I guess. I mean, we did well that game, but like, where do we go wrong? I think just the very timely Abrade and Lightning Bolt for both of our important creatures. Maybe leaving back Icefang Coatl would have been sweet. That way I could have kept Ashiok. So in hindsight, slightly aggressive going for the attack with Ice Fang Coatl. But we'll be on the play. We will be on the play in game 3. And we've got more than 9 minutes, so should be okay. They've got me with a lightning bolt and an attack with the goblin, so we're toast here. Do you guys see any difference in my webcam this evening? I mentioned earlier that it's a new web camera, so should look a little bit better, I think. Okay, so give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. All right, so I think another thing that was difficult about that game was they had, I think, 3 or 4 remands. It might have been 4, and they had a mystical dispute as well, so 4 or 5 counter spells. It was just they tempoed me out because all those remands, I just had to keep recasting Force. So, I don't really think there's anything that I want to change. We know they have the goblins, but we had the answer for the goblins, so I think I'm just going to run it back. Hope for a good opening hand. We did have a nice hand in that game. It was the 1 lander with Vial, and we drew into lands on the draw. I mean, this is fine. We can't mulligan it. This would be like a sensational hand against a deck like Jund, but it has no forces. Against Storm, also has no Veil. Veil would be amazing. But if they're on like the Goblins plan, then just like already having Deputy in hand is kind of ridiculous. I should have probably gotten Canopy Vista there. That was a bit hasty. So they drew their card with Serum Visions, and now they're thinking about their Scry. They went top. So we would love to ramp here. Beautiful. So, the world is our oyster here. So green-blue is probably best. It's a good card. I think I'll play Watcher, and then I'm going to hold up Path and Coel. If they went top, they must have had a cost-reducing creature among them. Otherwise, they don't top. Wow, this is ridiculously bad. So in this spot, I mean, just an island is probably good. The best out of everything I've got here. That's probably the worst like Watcher for Tomorrow pile I've ever gotten. They're just making gobos? You gonna make some goblins? I think he's making goblins. This looks like a goblin turn. We don't care about goblins. All right, well. At what point am I going to path this thing? Maybe I should have done it. Nope, it's the goblins. So let's, I mean, I'm going to give them a third land and get rid of Baral. I feel like we've kind of got to. I mean, it's more mana efficient, it's true. I might as well, and then next turn I play Deputy, and then I can still path. That's fine. That's a fine combination. It's just, if I'm going to path, I'm probably still going to do it on my turn and not their turn. That's a nice follow-up to my Deputy, for sure, because that's like plan B, basically, is their graveyard. That's a little bit unfortunate. But we are going to Deputy their junk. Get in with the snake, I guess. And then, you know, if I path on their upkeep, they use their only blue mana. I give them less mana to work with. I think probably doing it on their upkeep is correct. Just to make sure I get to my turn and I can play Ashiok. Okay, do they have another land? They don't. Well, now I can double spell. That's interesting. All right, I mean, things sort of going okay. And, I mean, maybe I even just save Eternal Witness at this point just to get back anything that they deal with. Or, like, if I get a Force, I can cast it and get it back with Eternal Witness, but I feel like I need to use the mana. And I'll get back Path just because I don't really need lands at this point. I don't really need Path either. But this game is going pretty well. I mean, if they have, like, exactly ritual gifts or whatever, like... Are they maybe they have a Grape Shot in hand? Oh, I'm sorry. I should see what they're revealing here. And I'll tell you guys what they put in hand, because I think that the app does actually tell us now, like, which cards they put in hand. It didn't used to. They put Baral. What did they put into hand? They put Monomorphos and Opt. I guess they're unhappy with their hand. Or maybe they're just looking for things that they can definitely cast right now, and then, like, wipe my board. There's an Opt. Maybe they make more goblins. I mean, I don't know. Let's see what happens. They went top with the Opt. At this point, they've cast their spells that we know about. So 2 mana floating, double cost reduction, 4 cards in hand. 5 minutes left on my clock. I don't think the clock is an issue. Eternal Witness gets abraded. And the opponent passes. It's kind of cool. Now we get to... Why would they attack like this? I have Deputy here. Guess they're just, like, really PO'd about Ashiok. Well, that's fun. Oh, you know what? Ashiok turns off gifts as well. Not sure the opponent realizes that. Maybe they do. They play, they play Storm, so they probably know about this stuff. Throwing both of them at Ashiok, so let's path this guy. We have 3, 4, 5 damage on the battlefield, so a 2-turn clock. The world's worst Watcher for tomorrow on the battlefield. I mean, Lightning Bolt still deals with Ashiok if they have it. Call is nice. So let's go ahead and attack. What am I calling for? Maybe just Uro or something. Soulherder seems good. Just Soulherder. And I'll blink the Coiling Oracle. Like Ephemerate might be the best draw here, I guess. This opponent needs something like Bolt plus Gifts. All right, and they scooped, so we got there. We got there. Team Soulherder with the win. Ashiok really coming through there. When I brought him in, I was only thinking about the graveyard interaction, but preventing them searching the library with gifts is also obviously insane. So, I mean, we've played Ashiok against Storm before, so I kind of know that it's good. Okay, that opponent doesn't have any trophies yet. Definitely seen this guy around, though. Hard to miss those capital letters. I feel like, the Soulherder matchup, at least with my deck against Storm, is always pretty interesting. Like we do have a lot of choices about like what tools we want to search for with Eladamri's Call, when to use our forces. This is pretty good. It's slow. We're on the draw. Opponent's name is Raphalos. That's kind of cool. I don't have the extra mana for Eladamri's Call yet. But turn 1 Ether Vial is amazing, and we have lots of 2-drops in the deck, so I think I'm going to keep this and hope that it's a slow deck that I'm playing against. Well, it's Storm again. Not the best hand against Storm, I think. They went top, so we might just be getting steamrolled in this game. I guess green-white is probably the way to go here. So, like a path off the top just to kill a Baral or something. Oh, wow. It's an Arclight Phoenix deck. So now, okay, the plan is online. We've got Thassa and Soulherder. If we can get Stonehorn Dignitary, we can stop their attacks. We've got the Eladamri's Call to get the Stonehorn Dignitary. Got paths, we got forces, we got some tools. So Uro has to be pretty sensational in the matchup. It is Phoenix. It is Phoenix. And we're going to pass the turn and cast Eladamri's Call. Probably for Stonehorn. Even though we're a turn away, that's probably going to be our road to victory. Since we've got the Thassa, we can just take the Ether Vial up to 4. I mean, it might be wishful thinking because we might not get there in time. But next turn, I can cast Uro and gain some life. We can always draw into paths and such. All right, well, they're tapping out for Finale, so they get to cast their Thought Scour and their Serum Visions, which means that an Arclight Phoenix is going to come back. So, good for them. Aria of Flame. They went bottom bottom, and here is a flying lightning bolt. Since I have the vial, I can probably get away with just like getting a basic something or other here. Just like a plains. And as I said, we're probably just going to get Stonehorn and just hope that we get to our later turns. I mean, Deputy's also pretty good. I'm just going to get Stonehorn. It's ticking clock. One with 7 cards in hand and a redraw with Eyelid on the battlefield. We don't need to play the fetch just yet. Wait, not Soulherder. I'm going to play Uro, gain some life. I mean, we haven't been drawing Ephemerates this evening. That seems pretty good against this deck. We'll play this. And next turn, Stonehorn can come online with Soulherder. If we don't die. Arclight Phoenix. It's a good magic card. I never noticed there's a building in the background. Do you guys see that? There's like a little skyscraper in the background, in the right side. They went bottom with the opt. Play a Scalding Tarn. Maybe they have another finale or something. No, they're opt. They're looking for Faithless Looting, I think. Okay, cracking that. Ghostly Pilferer. When an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Okay. All right. I get it, but you're not really going to be attacking anytime soon, opponent. I mean, I could, hold on a second. I could just go value this turn. I can just play Oracle, Vial in, Soulherder, play Teferi. Teferi just bouncing this thing seems fine. Like, draw a bunch of cards with Coiling Oracle. Not really afraid of their attacks right now. Ephemerate is a good card. But I think it's going to be better, like, next turn. You guys agree with this line I'm taking? Just, like, max value? Rather than, like, hyper defensive. Like, we're not dying next turn, I don't think. But if we do, I'll feel pretty silly. I guess they can discard. They can use this to discard an Arclight Phoenix, which is pretty nice. But I feel like they're going to throw their stuff at Teferi this turn. That's a nice synergy. I like it. They can discard like a bunch of Arclight Phoenixes if they have them. 2 of them. All right, we have to not die right now. 3 of them. Well, that's 1 point from lethal. Three of them, eh? Oh my god, guys. Okay, I learned a lesson. We should play Stonehorn as soon as possible against this deck. It's kind of stupid. Kind of stupid. We had the cards to win. I just played aggressively. You know, like... It was unnecessarily greedy because you play Stonehorn, you play Soulherder, you get two combat steps in the bank. Next turn, you go get your value. That's my bad. That's just a strict misplay. So anyhow, my bad. They are playing Aria of Flame, so I'm going to bring in Knight. I guess Ashiok is pretty good. Yeah, that was super unfortunate that they had 3 Arclight Phoenixes in the top like 20 cards of their deck. Worship seems okay. All the Purges, the Winds, the Auriok Champion, probably not great. Just because like their creatures are flyers, so Auriok gets pieced out. Veil, I mean, they can bring in counter spells, but I don't really expect it. Ether Gust seems okay-ish. Skyclave is kind of rough because it gives him 4/4s. I don't know if I love all of the Force of Negations. Trim one of them. Glasspool is super slow. Uro seemed like the one card that was doing what we wanted it to do in that game. I don't think we need all of the calls. Watcher is slow. Maybe one Skyclave. We're bringing in a Knight. Thassa is slow. Yeah, that was super unfortunate. We had really, really good cards, and the opponent just had like way better cards. I mean, Soulherder seems weak, but at the same time, it's kind of important. So, I mean, removal seems good. Uro's good for life gain and such. They're definitely going to bring in like a Braids. So Etherval might lose some value, but it's still super good. Man, I had the Stonehorn. I'm so dumb. Well, you know, lesson learned. I haven't seen this deck in a long time, and to be fair, to beat me, they needed 3 Arclight Phoenixes and a Lightning Bolt, and they had it. So the last cards to take out are going to be... maybe Ether Gust isn't that important. Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. Soulherder seems like it just dies too easily. I'll run it like that. We're gonna lean on Ephemerates in this matchup. Yeah, that was just really unfortunate because I had all sorts of locks with Soulherder, Stonehorn, Thassa. I can keep this. I will let you know what they do with the Serum Visions. They went top. Just got 2 forces in the deck. I'll just chill on this. Okay. Opponent playing patiently. I think green is probably just fine here. Do they have a remand or something? Maybe a mystical dispute? Hey, that's a good one. I think I'm going to main phase my Coatl here because I'd really, really like to draw land and play land. Don't lose to just complete land screw with all these extra draws. All right, there we go. I'm going to play that for 2. Pass a turn. It's a very timely white land draw. White-green, to be exact, to get Eternal Witness as well. Opponent with 0 plays that turn. Starting off with Opt, I'll let you know what they do with the Scry. They went top. I think we knew about that already. Okay, they play a Fiery Islet. And I think I just play patiently here. There's no rush. Hey. So speaking of patiently, I think I'm just going to Slam Worship now. It's worth taking this turn off for. Okay, I'm going to start going after my creatures. And I'm just going to hopefully start drawing creatures and protecting them with Ephemerate. So, Thing in the Ice, we've got the path ready for that. Do it on their upkeep, I guess. They have missed a land drop. Opponent said that Ewit art is so good, and I said, haha, yeah. Yeah, it is. All right, so I'm just going to... Ooh, hey, what's happening here? Lightning Bolt. I don't think so. I'm just going to Ephemerate this guy. And now that I don't have double white up, if they do have like a... They didn't remand my Worship, so I don't think they're working with remand or counter spells in general. So, sort of fine with just upkeeping this. All right, so things going okay so far. A Braid can't hit enchantments. We've got 2 pieces of removal, 2 more creatures with Flash to bolster our Worship. We're going to start chipping in for some damage. We've got the rebound coming with Ephemerate. Opponent tapping out for Finale, going for Bolt and Visions. It seems fine. So we're not going to catch the rebound with Eternal Witness. But we will draw an extra card. We'll flash in one of these Coatls during upkeep. They went bottom. Played an island. And passing the turn. Okay, let's flash this guy in. Ether Vial. And a bunch of lands and a bunch of Ether Vials. I mean, I guess we play the Ether Vial. And pass the turn, I guess. More Eternal Witnesses, more Ephemerates, please. Another Thing in the Ice. We've got another path for that. Okay. I mean, they could have board wipes, actually. I'm not going to play this Coatl. I'm going to be kind of smart. Force is a nice addition to the hand, I think. We'll play this second Ether Vial. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're not really that afraid of the clock here. Arclight Phoenix. We've got the removal for that as well. Maybe I should save it for Arya or something, but I've got a Force. And I've got 2 more Eternal Witnesses in the deck. These Ether Vials can be a bummer sometimes. Not going to play this one. Like, past two Ether Vials, it gets kind of stupid. So this is one of the 2 forces that I left in the deck. One plays a land. Monomorphose is going to resolve. Drawing a card. Discarding a Phoenix, totally fine. Pitching an Arclight Phoenix, again, totally fine for the time being. I mean, if they were wise, they probably just wouldn't attack with the Arclight Phoenixes. And, you know, at this point, since, I mean, I remember these decks used to play things like Anger of the Gods, but if they play Anger of the Gods, they exile their own Arclight Phoenixes, and I've got a Force up, so whatever. We're going to increase our clock here. Path is pretty good. I think I'll just cast that now, get rid of one of their flying birdies. I mean, I don't really care about my life total, but that's, you know, Path is in the deck to kill creatures. Or to exile creatures. They failed to find a basic. That's kind of cool. We're pretty much equal on time, which is nice. Creatures, all right. That's actually a pretty good draw. I'm going to play that right now. And I'm just going to use it. Wait, now I don't have blue for Force. That's kind of silly. But maybe I'll attack, bounce one of my Ice Fangs, and just Violet back in. That seems stronger. And Teferi's probably going to eat it. Skyclave is nice. So yeah, at this point I can just pass the turn, I think. Opponent down to 5. Which means we've got lethal combined among all the creatures we've got access to here. I mean, we've drawn sort of extraordinarily well this game. Lots of removal. Got this counterspell just in case things go a little sideways. Worship was a very nice early game draw. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Phoenix either. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. So if the Oops All Spells deck becomes like an actual thing, I guess I'll have to actually start playing legitimate Graveyard Hate in my sideboard. I mean, I've got the 2 Ashioks. They're a little slow against that deck. Actually, they're super slow against that deck, right? Because it's all sorcery speed. You need, I think, either something like Rest in Peace that just exiles things immediately, or instant speed stuff. Yeah, anyhow, I haven't seen the deck very much. So, opponent Oh. Opponent says, let's see, I'm going to submit here. Opponent says they have to go. So unfortunate that I just had a bathroom break. Not sure what this holdup is here. Magic Online, come on, get your act together. I know my web camera is like a tiny little thing in the corner, but I mentioned earlier that I did get a new webcam, so just curious if any of you guys notice any difference in the way the web camera looks. Oh, that guy's got a trophy. Good for him or her. I'll take the free win after we got that like free loss in round 1 against Oops All Spells. Currently 2-1 in the league. Only loss in the first round. Then we beat Storm, and then we beat Arclight Phoenix of all things. Winning the die roll. Nice start. And oh man, a Lurus deck with Path and Vial. I think we're good to go. We do want to cast Ice Fang on turn 2. So I think even though it's a super aggressive matchup, we might just want to go get green-white so that we have green-white-white, double green for Eternal Witness, double white for Skyclave Apparition. We've got turn 2, Ice Fang, hitting our life total fairly hard. But then we follow up with Uro. We've got removal. Oh, wow. Okay. So, oh, my God. Some kind of zoo deck. So maybe I just chill. I'm going to play my Breeding Pool tapped. Just work with Ether Vial here with my creatures. Actually, Hallowed Fountain tapped is a little bit better, I think. And then, you know, we just control them, I guess, with the removal and the life gain and the card draw. Man, we're getting some weird pairings, huh? We got Arclight Phoenix and now Jund Zoo. Jesus. I think I get rid of the cat. It's looking for planes, so is this going to be 4 color? Oh, maybe it's Tribal Flames, I think. Well, who knows? Tribal Zoo. Looks like we're taking 1 off this Swift Spear. They have another cat. So we just have to resist this, and it seems like it's a little bit slower than like the normal crazy aggressive stuff that we see. So let's start with the basic planes into Uro. And then I wouldn't even mind just blocking one of their creatures with Ice Fang just to get more stuff in the graveyard. So Path is interesting. I could have thought about that and played my Breeding Pool first, but saving 2 life here is pretty much the same as just like not pathing their thing right away. So I already played my land. I can just pass the turn. You guys still with me? You guys are pretty quiet here in chat. All right, Thoughtseize. I think I do want to get this Ice Fang down. I mean, they've got they've got good choices to take. So I think I just get Ice Fang down as a blocker. If they want to remove it, that's sort of fine. It gives them another card to choose from in my hand, like the card off the top of the deck. So, I mean, I still want it to be good stuff. And they're going to discard something, making like access to Uro that much better. Oh, I can counter this now if I want, but I don't want to. So I imagine they would take the path here. They could take Soulherder. Depends on if they have removal, but they took the path. That's wild. So now I can take up Ether Vial, put Soulherder down, and then protect the Ice Fang. Okay, so Seal of Fire, I guess I could force this, but if they want to deal with my creature, it's just going to put stuff in the graveyard for Uro. So Seal of Fire deals nicely with the Soulherder. I also can't escape Uro just yet because I've got this basic planes. You know, Ephemerate is still like an amazing draw, so I think I'm going to not block for the time being. If I block and draw a fetch, then I can escape Uro, which is kind of massive. So I guess I'll do that. And we hope that they don't have Cling, I guess. So come on, oh, well, no, yeah, fetch, let's see. Well, Skyclave is kind of a thing. So some of my stuff is going to die, and then I'll have enough to escape Uro, but I do need that land. So, man, this is a little bit rough because I can play Soulherder and then just pop two of their things with Skyclave right now, but they have the Seal of Fire up. So maybe I do Skyclave. Maybe I can get them to hastily use the seal on their turn. And we can, I don't know. I don't even really, so this guy, you can pump him. At the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life, put a +1 counter. So he grows by himself and he can get pumped. Got it. I don't think I'm blocking, so let's sort of see what they do. Or maybe I am blocking. It's all 1-drops. So let me get this down. I think the Knight of the Ebon Legion is like the sort of scariest one. So I think I'll hit that guy. Okay. And now they're sealing it, so nothing I can do about that. Goes to the graveyard. They get back a 1/1. It's all sort of okay. I still have Force up here, and if I draw land, I get to escape Uro. No land, huh? Jesus, this basic plains is screwing us all sorts of ways. I mean, this should be a great matchup. We haven't had the Ephemerate. We haven't had the land that we need. Opponent got just to buff the Wildcat, so and now maybe they can try to Tribal Flames me. I don't know. Let's see. So they're getting at me for 5. And we'll just, Violent Soulherder, and it's probably just going to get killed right away. They already cracked. They cracked a fetch, right? Yeah, they did. So I'm not sure that our force is getting much better. It could counter like a bolt or something, but it's a creature deck, so we might not get a lot of good looks for force. So I'm just going to cast it, and if the opponent has another removal spell, it's one that they can't use on Uro, I guess. So can I get some kind of draw here? I guess that can be a trick. I can path something, grow the Soulherder. I can actually path Soul. Hold on. No, I can't path Soulherder now, so I'm just gonna let this go. Opponent seems like they don't have too much in hand. And I'm F6'd. Are you guys alive in chat? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. It's just super quiet. I mean, opponent has a redraw, so if they have nothing, they could also put Luris into hand and get back their Seal of Fire, which seems amazing. But they can't cast Luris this turn. Yeah, no, I assumed you guys could hear me. It's just poking you. All right, so here's a Fatal Push. Fair enough. Luris into hand, I'm sure. And then they do have a Seal of Fire coming. So since it's a Luris deck with a lot of fetches, we will want to bring Ashiok in. And we once again, we need a draw here. Oh, we do. We got it. So sweet. We've got green, blue, green, and whatever here. So maybe just blue. Save some life. That was a good draw. And now, hopefully, we get to see the power of Uro, because he's pretty ridiculous in these matchups. Opponent has already used 2 Fatal Pushes. I'm not going to do this now. I can just file it in on their turn. So that was a nice draw, that land. For a second, I thought it was a bad top deck, but I remember, of course, we're looking for that land for Uro. So opponent's got the Luris in hand. And again, the Seal of Fire. So if we can get an Eternal Witness to get that path back, or just draw another path, or a Skyclave, or an Eladamri's Call, a lot of good draws. I'm blocking this. I'm not being they could recast it, which is fine, and they don't get to recast the Seal of Fire. Am I getting Tribal Flames? Is that what's happening here? Jesus, down to 3. Lightning Bolt on Uro. Interesting. Okay. So it's still got 3 toughness. And something else. Teamer Battle Rage. I mean, let's see. Do I draw Path here? Kind of a blowout. Nope, just a fairy. So Uro down. Sort of fine. We know that the last card in their hand is Luris. Definitely playing Teferi. And I'll attack and then bounce my Coiling Oracle. Okay, not the best draw. But now we can force the Seal of Fire if they go for that. All right, we're hitting a lot of lands. And these... Oh, wait, I can escape Uro right now. That's amazing. Double ramping. So get blue and then green. You can actually get Canopy Vista here. Yeah, that double ramp was actually pretty sick. I take it back. It's kind of a funny, like, all-out attack to get rid of Uro. Just shows you the power of the card in the deck. Like, they used Lightning Bolt. They went down to, like, 2 or 3 to get... Not exactly sure what the purpose of all these fetches was. I guess they have Death Shadows, but... Opponent thinking a lot here. They can't do anything because I have Teferi, so... Gonna ask the opponent, may I continue? Okay, they let me continue. Nice guy. So, Uro, let's do this. Continue just like ridiculously taxing the opponent's resources. Land, Ice Fang, Skyclave. Maybe Soulherder's too weak. Soulherder and Skyclave. I like the path. I'll say done. Say no, and pass the turn to the opponent. So remember, the only card in their hand is Luris. Force is offline for the time being, so they can cast Seal of Fire. What card did they draw? If it's like a Thought, they can't cast Thoughtseize. Not great. Death Shadow would be pretty good, right? It's gigantic. What is this? Okay, Luris, of course. Should have saw that coming. Maybe Seal of Fire. We'll see if it goes immediately after the Coiling Oracle. I'm going to be able to force that thing soon. So, 2 mana. They did draw something. Oh, it's a big guy. So, no attacks. But they do have a 9/9 now. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's take this up. I mean, I guess that just copies the Coiling Oracle. So weird. If I attack with Uro, I draw a card, which I love. But they just eat it with the Scourge. Not the best. Could also just copy Uro, but it doesn't stick around. Just kind of bad. I like the idea of viling in and copying Coiling Oracle. Gonna be a 6/6 after attacks. What? Gonna be a 6/6. Oh, after attacks because I gain life, right? Oh, that's true. That's true. That's funny. I do need to be more on top of the dynamics here. Or even a 3/3 if I cop up, but I'd rather catch them by surprise, right? Oh, it will catch them just with the trigger, so I think I'm just going to attack here. Oh, Ephemerate is kind of a cool draw here. So now I can vial in another Uro and just straight up kill this thing, which seems amazing. Yeah. So Glasspool Mimic doing a nice job. And I think I have to choose... Oh, I have to stack these first, and then I have to choose... Oh, I have to choose one to keep. We're going to keep this one. Is the opponent might be in the process of scooping. I believe they are. Well, that was awesome. What a cool interaction against Scourge. So this seems like an excellent matchup if we can just like draw some cards, basically. Yeah, that was awesome. I love it. Now, Knight also shrinks Scourge, and it's just good against Zoo. I think I might bring in Knight. I mentioned Ashiok against all the fetches and against Luris value, so that could be cool. I don't really care about their spells, so I think I'm going to take out all the forces. Veil is pretty sensational. The Path and all of the removal is pretty sensational. I'm going to bring in this column here. That puts us at 67. I think Watcher is slow. I think Thassa is slow. I think Glasspool is probably unnecessary, though. It was pretty sick in that spot. Deputy gains us time, so I kind of like Deputy for that reason. I need to trim 4 cards. Skyclave is sensational against all these 1-drops, so I do like Eladamri's Call. At the same time, I mean, we can go for Uro. Seems amazing. So maybe Eladamri's Calls are like just fantastic. I did cut a land for it, but I'm on the draw now, and so being on the draw, math says you can cut a land, so that's okay. So more life gain seems all right. I'm not sure how necessary Ashiok is, and I'm not sure that I want it super early, so I think maybe I'll just play 1 Ashiok. I love all the removal, love all of the witnesses. Maybe I'll trim 1 call, maybe 2 calls. I've got a lot of card draw, but maybe 3 calls is good for the Stonehorn. Yeah, I'm cutting a land. It's true. So let's see what else. Maybe I've got enough removal that Deputy doesn't matter. It's also a little weak to bolts and pushes. And we've also got Skyclave, so that's pretty good. Maybe I'll just trim like 1 Coiling Oracle, and we'll just run it like that. Seems like pretty amazing upgrade post board, bringing in an extremely strong column of cards. Cutting good stuff, but keeping a good balance. We've got more life gain. We've got like an unbeatable card in Worship. Veil of Summer should be pretty sensational. Yeah, this is a keep. I think I took Thassa out, so my only... Yeah. You want to explain why it doesn't seem good? Ephemerate? I think Ephemerate is super sensational in this matchup. As in pretty much every matchup, Ephemerate is just a busted card. Somebody was mentioning, like, when we were talking about what cards we might want to add to Soulherder, somebody mentioned like a 1 white, 1 colorless flash creature that blinks a creature like Ephemerate. That'd be an excellent addition. Didn't really want to draw that land there. I do want to start filling up the yard. We can call for Uro, which, as you guys saw, was pretty ridiculous. They might be on 1 land. Nope, not on 1 land. Just playing strange sequencing. Inquisition can't take the Stonehorn. Let's see if they're afraid of call or not. Getting in for 5 here on turn 2. It's pretty scary. They are down to 3 cards. They took the Coatl. I mean, they know that Uro is a ridiculous threat, so leaving call in hand is interesting. I am going to be calling for Uro, so I think just getting a basic forest this way is probably good. And if they Thoughtseize me, I'm going to call for Uro right away. And then taking Uro, is what it is if they want to do that. I imagine they might want to take the Stonehorn away. If they take the Stonehorn, we get to cast Uro and Ephemerate it on our turn, which is pretty awesome. If they take Uro, I actually can't cast him and escape him next turn. I can't escape him next turn because I'm only going to be on my third land. Might just be dead here if the opponent has the nuts, like another hand disruption spell plus a bolt or something. Go to 10. They took Uro. Interesting. I guess that's the only spell I could cast next turn. Okay. Another Thoughtseize. Jesus. So 3 hand disruption spells, 2 creatures, 3 lands. Seems pretty good. They took the Ephemerate. All right. Can they kill me in 2 turns? That's a blocker. That helps a lot. Or it could help a lot in theory. Remember, the opponent's on the play here. Next turn, we're escaping Uro if we don't just kill us here. That seemed a little hasty, but whatever. Opponent is now empty-handed. Knight of Autumn. We're going to block the cat. We'll go to 2. And then Uro will draw us up to... Or it will gain us up to 5. The opponent's going to be top-decking. Yeah, that was poor, right? If they kill the snake, then I just take 5 anyway, and I... Okay. Oh, yeah, so they're putting Lurrus into hand here. They don't have anything in the graveyard that he can recast yet. Eternal Witness is another ridiculous draw. So the opponent needs a top deck, basically, right now. I'm going to leave Ephemerate, if that's what it comes down to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're done. We've got our big, nasty Titan. Put the land onto the battlefield, and, we can even Ephemerate in a pinch. We can go get Canopy Vista, only taking 1 point of damage. So it's a big top deck for the opponent. If they play a land, we know that that was their draw. Are we getting... Okay, so here's Lurrus. Okay, fair enough. Wow, okay. Now, I guess they might have push, but we'll see how it goes. I don't Ephemerate in this spot. Because I won't be able to catch it. So I think, this is going to resolve. We're going to start trying to pile up the... Pile up in the graveyard again. Opponent is once again empty-handed. So prevent them from... Oh, they have a cat that they can recast. I think preventing them from attacking is probably the way to go. If they top deck exactly a Lightning Bolt, that'll get us. I could also just cast Knight of Autumn, leave him up as a... maybe just casting Knight of Autumn is the best here. Gain 4, go to 7. Puts him in a hard spot, right? Like, they can attack, and I can Ghost Block and gain 4 more life. Seems like the safer play here. It puts me outside of bolt range. So I'm pretty sure that's what I want to do. And we've got great cards in hand. We just need some time to unlock it. Like, we need the opponent to whiff once. Like, they drew a Fatal Push that turn, which was pretty good. Okay, they cast the cat from the graveyard. We're hoping again that they whiff here. I think I'm probably going to go for a block on Luris and then, or just a block here. If it seems like they're going to let it resolve with no spells, I'm going to Ephemerate now. You know, they have one card. You can't put them on exactly removal. So let's gain 4 more life, and now we are pretty comfortable. They drew something. Okay, well now we get to play the Stonehorn Dignitary. And we'll just grind it out. Okay, so no attacks. Once again, they have to top deck. Bauble is probably the best top deck in this spot, since they get to recast it. Now, they should have just recast that immediately, but I think maybe they passed to combat and didn't realize that it was going to skip their combat right away. So they drew a card. I think the play here is obviously just to go to get back Ephemerate. They don't have Revolt right now, so I'm just going to Ephemerate Stonehorn immediately. Actually, I'm going to get, maybe I'll Ephemerate and then get Ashiok and just get rid of their graveyard. I could double Ephemerate, but okay, they just scooped it up. I mean, it's pretty dominant, but I guess the opponent might have finally whiffed a draw there, so I was going to Ephemerate the Stonehorn, play Hallowed Fountain, play Ashiok, get rid of their graveyard. Their combat is turned off. We've got a Planeswalker keeping their graveyard in check, and we've got looping Ephemerates with Uro coming back online. We had a Skyclave coming with another path. So as I said right up front, this random 4-color Luris Zoo deck just seems like a great matchup for us. Does turn on Revolt. Okay, well, 3-1 so far. We've got, this is the best going into round 5 that we've had in a little while. That opponent has 1 trophy. So give me 1 sec, and then we'll jump into the last round. It seems like a quicker league than we've had in recent streams. Like, all of my leagues take like 4 hours. But this is like 1.5 so far, or something like that. No, just over 2, I think. But I also chatted a little bit at the beginning, so let's do it. Let's just hope for a good matchup here. Dodge that oops all spells thing. I mean, I've already cast the league, which is nice. I've got a positive win rate. Paintball, if you're still here, that line, I know you really like gaining life and killing Skyclave, not Skyclave, Scourge of the Skyclaves, right? So that was pretty awesome because it looked like it was just going to be a trade for Uro, right? I attacked, it went from a 9/9 to a 6/6, and the opponent was like, all right, I'll trade for Uro, no problem, right? But then Glasspool Mimic was a good card, right? It was gained 3 more life, shrunk the Scourge again. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool interactions. Oh. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. You know, the Mimic doesn't come up all that often, but when it has come up, it's been okay. I think I've only played it as a land once so far. And we're winning die rolls, so we've got Lurrus as an avatar. And this looks keepable, so we'll keep, and hopefully we'll draw another couple lands. Lurrus as an avatar makes me feel pretty good for some kind of Jund deck. Yeah. Opponent thinking hard about their 7, it looks like. Or they could be making a sandwich. So we go blue, white, green. We start on our way towards Death Touch with this snake. And we also have Call online. We've got a Force if we really need it. Oh, God. It had to happen. Hate it so much. See, this is crazy awkward right now. But I've got 2 drops that I can play on turn 3, right? So it's actually not terrible. If I draw another land, I'll just play that land. But if I don't, I can play this tapped and then play like Call next turn or something. Just gonna pass the turn. I guess Skyclave is pretty good against like Dryads. Uro's good to gain life. Oh, it's the Reclaimer deck. Oh, I hate this deck so much. So maybe I just, I can't cast like a Skyclave next turn unless I top deck a land. Glasspool being a little bit clunky here. But I think Skyclave is going to be good enough that I kind of have to call for it now and pray that I draw land. If I don't, I can always just play Coatl. And we do need double white for Skyclave, so I do have to get green-white here. Ugh. Ugh, I say, ugh. But they do have to pay 2 mana to activate this guy. It's not the end of the world. So I feel like it's very easy to mess up against this deck. Why did it take Reclaimer so long to become a card in Modern? It's been around for like 2 years. A year and a half or something, I feel like. Didn't M20 come out? Don't they come out like Magic 2020 comes out in 2019, right? It's been at least a year. What the? They get to search their library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice to activate stuff. Sort of seems okay for now. Oh, they got a basic forest and a basic plains. Huh. All right. So basically, I'm not paying life for things. I can't fetch. Can't sacrifice stuff. All right, you got it. Now, I could blow this dude up if I feel like it with Skyclave. It's non-land what? That I sacrifice non-land permanents? Oh, I can sacrifice my lands. Got it. Cool. I can sacrifice my lands. So, no, but I can't pay life. So that's what matters. I can't pay life to activate abilities. So I can't pay life for my fetches. Ether Vial is interesting, but I think the plan is still just to kill this thing. That might make me want to play Ether Vial and then like path the Reclaimer on their upkeep, but then they can just path this thing now, I guess. Well, no, I think I probably want to path it on their turn. It'll let them get an activation, but it'll prevent them from like playing Primeval Titan, presumably. I can't, right? I mean, look, I argued with you guys before and I was wrong. It says you can't pay life to activate abilities. So I can't activate my fetches. Yeah. So now I think playing the Ether Vial and just pathing the Reclaimer on their upkeep is probably the way to go. I mean, do I care? Like, if they get to play a Titan with enough mana here, if I path this right now, I don't have to test it. It says it very clearly on the card. So anyhow, I'm going to let it go to their turn, and then I'm going to attack with this since I don't really feel like blocking. Oh, does it have reach? Don't have reach. I think I remember being surprised that it doesn't have reach because it's like 100,000 feet tall. So this is going to let them get an activation if they want it. And presumably they're going to get like Field of the Dead and start making bazillions of zombies. We've got a call in the graveyard already, so Eternal Witness gets us Deputy of Detention. This is probably one of like the top 3 worst decks, I think, against us. For us, I think they're like one of our top 3 worst matchups. I mean, Stonehorn is a thing. I've got Stonehorn and I've got Soulherder, and that in and of itself is like pretty sweet. Opponent didn't activate. They still get to do this. Is that what's happening? They still get to play a Titan. Maybe they have to cast like a Summoner's Pact or something. What's going on here? Opponent having a hard time. They do have the 4 mana to activate this, right? So now, okay, well, they're just drawing a card. That's wild. What were they just doing? Not sure how important Uro is. It's not bad, but I feel like I would probably pitch it if I needed to counter something. Another Reclaimer. We get to kill that with Skyclave. Oh, Turn Timber, for sure. I've definitely got force for that. So, opponent getting in for a nice attack here. And we are just going to, yes, exactly. For sure. And it's 7 to cast that, not even 6. So, there's a fetch. That's kind of funny. So I can't pay life. So I can't do that. But I'm still going, yeah. I think I'm still going to kill the Reclaimer. It's just the card that makes the deck tick. And we can take 4 a few more times, and hopefully a Soulherder will like blink the Skyclave and kill this thing. Then we can crack our fetch. So It's funny that the 1-drop is like the card in this deck. I think I'm still not blocking, so I think I'll still attack. Not anywhere close to Death Touch. Okay, so now they get to cast their creature, which they could have done last turn. Very strange. Okay. So Field of the Dead, I'm sure. And we might just be a turn late this game. Blast Zone and Vesuva. Interesting. I've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop. Like, why get Blast Zone? A Temple Garden. Okay. You got it. Well, they had the Field of the Dead in the hand, so... Can't really afford to block here, I don't think. Soulherder just blows this thing up and gives them a 1/1. But as I said, unless we draw like a basic land, I think we might just be toast. So I can try to crack the Windswept Teeth, right? It's saying that I can't do it, so I'm pretty sure, as Paintball Demon said, like, yeah, just doesn't work, right? Okay. So we still can't get Death Touch with this guy. We can blow this up with Skyclave. They're gonna attack a bunch of stuff. Probably dead. This guy's kind of getting me here. I think I have to leave back all my blockers. And yeah, just a little slow for the matchup, I think. One's got Blast Zone on 1. Call, I think that we might as well force that. Not exactly sure what they're looking for here. Oh, they're looking for Dryad. So we'll just exile Uro here. Uro's nice to gain life, but all we kind of want to do is live through this turn. Is it another? They have 2 calls in hand. It's absurd. And now they just kill me with they just kill me with Valakut triggers. I don't have Death Touch. No, I'm just dying to Valakuts here, right? They had both calls. If they just had 1 call, I think I had it covered. All right, guys. I hate this deck. I hate it with a passion. It just combines like the most obnoxious cards in the format in like an extra obnoxious way. Path to Exile, Worship. Knight of Autumn kills Dryads. Ashiok prevents them from searching their deck. It's the MVP right here. Force, I mean, they only have calls, basically. So I'm actually going to take one of the forces out. Ether Gust is good. Winds of Abandon is okay. Uro seems like it's kind of like whatever. It does draw me cards. Gains life. I need to trim 6 cards here. Since it's like it's a matchup where I need to draw extremely well to win, I think I can afford to trim one of my lands in Glasspool. Thassa is just really slow. They don't have a lot of removal, so Soulherder could theoretically live. Deputy is necessary. I think Teferi's bad. Can probably trim one Uro. Again, I mean, Aether Vial is like an amazing card, but because we need to draw perfectly, I'm sort of fine trimming 2 Aether Vials and just praying that I draw an Aether Vial in an otherwise perfect opening hand. Like, we just need the deck to perform, like, just fire on all cylinders to have any chance of winning here. So, like, 2 lands, Aether Vial, Snakes, Ephemerate, Stonehorn, just like Ashiok. I mean, you might almost say, like, I might almost say that mulliganing to Ashiok here is the way to go, because so much of their deck searches, like the Reclaimer searches, Titan searches, Call searches. Ashiok. So again, it comes down to this idea of variance. Like, if I absolutely need, if I need hate to win the matchup, I've got 2 pieces of removal. I've got the single best hate card. I need to just hope to draw 2 lands off the top, or just a green land with an extra draw from Coatl. It's terrible. I've got removal for their 1-drop. It's a bad hand. But I think, you know, sometimes you have to roll the dice in these terrible matchups. But if I keep this and I don't draw a land, then I'm so far behind immediately. It's a terrible matchup. We can have fun and we'll keep, and you know, it'll make a great campfire tale if I do top deck the 2 lands. And if I lose, I lose. I plan on losing. Well, we get to path that thing. It's kind of nice. Okay, all right. Didn't get it on that draw. It's kind of frustrating. But we do have a path for this guy. Giving the ramp deck lands is like extremely bad. But, you know, their 1-drop is their best card, so I mean, if I miss another land drop, in particular, if I don't get a green source on this turn exactly, I think, you know, I've basically just lost the game. Why not? Second Reclaimer seems good. So okay, we got a land. Now I'm just drawing guys. Like, I can't really afford to just piece this guy out and ramp. Although they are playing pretty stupid lands. Like, they played Field and they played they played this. So I do want to draw to Ashiok. So getting down the Coatl seems good. So yeah, I'm just gonna main phase this Coatl. I mean, I could have gotten a blue there, but I was thinking Death Touch. I don't know. Okay. Oh, no. Should have gotten a blue land. Oh, god damn it. Should have gotten a second blue source. Oh, they have that, so they don't just have garbage lands. I mean, a blue source off the top just keeps us in this, I think. I don't know why I didn't just get blue there. That was loose. Loose as a long neck goose. And I'm suffering for it. I can call for Mimic right now. And just play Mimic as my land and hope that they don't have the Titan next turn. Yeah, I think I have to do that right now. I mean, otherwise, it's play a Coatl and just put my Fate in the top of the deck. I did board out Mimic. That's so funny. I did board out Mimic. Yeah. All right, so now I think I have to cast this other Coatl and put my Fate in the top of the deck. I will have Death Touch though. Ugh, sweet Jesus. How awkward. I'll attack here. We can't even cast like Deputy if I draw it because of the the lands that I chose to get here. Of course, to play the first Ice Fang, I needed to get green. I wouldn't have Death Touch if I didn't get this basic, but if I got an island, I wouldn't have been able to cast the Coatls to begin with. So it's definitely a case for getting the basic forest. If they have the Titan right now, then I think it's probably just GG. I do have another removal spell, but getting the Ashiok down ahead of the Titan is the play, you know? Even though I boarded out Mimic, at least I thought of the play, thought of the line with Eladamri's Call, so I'm still trying to figure out when to board out Mimic, and I think maybe I've been a little bit aggressive with it. Maybe it's a card that you never board out, sort of like Ephemerate, just because it's a land and because it can be pretty clutch in some situations. So opponent just tanking here. They've got 6 cards in hand. I mean, I'm sure they've got plenty of choices. I kept this super sketchball hand and messed up one of my fetches. I care definitely much more about getting Ashiok down than Death Touch, so getting the basic forest was a punt, I think, as far as I'm concerned. That's how I'm judging it here. Like, I had the path to Ashiok and I threw it away, so. All right, well, no Titan yet. We've got some hope, I guess, in theory. Of course, Blast Zone can eventually deal with Ashiok. So just praying for another fetch, basic island off the top, green shock, blue shock, whatever. Scattered Groves. And Valakut, and now a Dryad, I'm sure, as a follow-up. Okay. That's something. So now I've got Call for Deputy, but not right now. I think getting Ashiok down is the play. They can take up Blast Zone and pop it so that they get clean attacks on Ashiok, but they'll only be able to do 3 if they attack next turn. Having both basic forests here is just pretty awkward. I mean, Blast Zone is super obnoxious. We got rid of a Dryad and not much else, really. Just having an extra white source here would have been so clutch to be able to cast Ephemerate. There are no good answers other than, like, if you can like Venture it, or obviously like Field of Ruin or something, just Ghost Quarter, things like that. If you can Venture it when they activate it, it's amazing. It puts it back to their hand. attacking Ashiok. And now they're going to crack this blast zone. Sort of okay. We do want to draw land next turn so that we can call for Deputy. Opponent still can't search in their main phase. Let's see if they send like one creature to Ashiok and then I can path that creature, potentially. I think I have to end step call for Deputy here. There's really not much else I can do. Let's see if maybe the opponent will accidentally crack their Sakura Tribe Elder here. Nah, they seem like they know what they're doing. Okay, Radiant Fountain. Sort of act like we're F6'd here. Okay. Let's see. Ashiok, Ashiok, Ashiok. Wow. Face and 3-2 Ashiok. All right, well, I mean, let's go ahead and path this thing so that they can't activate it. Right, because they can't search right now. They can try to. That would be fun. Okay. And then we call for Deputy. We take one from the stupid Sakura Tribe Elder. And I still kind of want to draw lands to be able to ephemerate the Deputy. Do they have like a Primeval Titan in hand? They do. Why would they not? Oh, it's just an Elder, just an Elder Gargaroth. Okay. I mean, Stonehorn is pretty good, and then I can start ephemerating. I guess Stonehorn is probably the best deal here for me. First, I was thinking about Deputy, but I think Stonehorn is just better. We've got some time to draw a loop piece. They already spent one of their blast zones. Maybe it's the only one they have. All right, cool. We can ephemerate now. And we can call for, like, Soulherder. A little bit behind on time. I could probably start playing a little bit faster. Obviously, like, a Dryad is ridiculous. Ugh, Dryad, so stupid. So, okay, all right. So the first trigger is going after this guy. And, oh, wait. They've got a, okay. Are they going to crack their Sakura Tribe Elder now? Skyclave now? Seems funky. Yeah, they're going to get me here. Because they can crack their Steve. So I'm getting got no matter what. Wow, just opponent with everything. They had the Dryad, they have the Steve, they have the Skyclave. I mean, we can call for Deputy now, but we're still getting hit by, like, Gargaroth. They drew a card with Horizon Canopy. And, okay, I can't cast anything on their turn right now. Not sure how significant that is. They're empty-handed. They've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 power on the board. I've got Ephemerate to take care of. Well, lands just kill me, right? So Courser, no lands. Oh, land. I don't think I'm dead just yet. Oh well. Deputy. Ugh. Guys, I mean, like, couldn't we get like a better matchup to finish the evening? This is ridiculous. Play a land and kill me. Play a land and kill me. I mean, I think I could have gotten Ashiok down a turn earlier if I got the right land, but I don't really think... I don't think I lost because I got Ashiok down a turn late. Whatever. I think I might just play one more Q. Don't like ending the night on that note. So if it's another Titan deck, I'm just gonna jump out the window. I have been winning die rolls tonight. And getting solid opening hands. Can open like basic, and then Canopy Vista. But I can't imagine they're going to play something that I want to path on turn 1. Thassa. Nice. Ties everything together. So I kind of like on turn 2, even against blue, to go for the ramp when possible with the Coiling Oracle, because it just puts us ahead a little bit. Just gonna Mystical Dispute this, maybe Spell Snare this. Jesus. Oh my god, is this Mill? I gotta get to play against Mill to finish this, or is it just Rogues? Nice. I think it might be like Rogues, let's see. Blocking that thing for sure if it attacks. Ephemerate, amazing draw. So I guess it's probably Rogues, right? Seems like a clean attack. I think they have some flash rogue that they're going to play here. So double Ephemerate. With Thassa coming online next turn. Could path this guy, but I don't really care. I could do it in response to some rogue that they cast. So yeah, I think I'll probably just path this guy. I'm going to mill a couple cards, but I'll just path him on their upkeep. Stonehorn, interesting mill. Do have lots of Ephemerates. Do they have like a Drown in the Lock here? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So Coiling Oracle ramped us, and Path ramped the opponent. I still don't like tapping out with Ephemerates in hand. So I'm going to start by playing Coatl to see if I can draw a land. It's a good one. Don't have double white yet, but we could always ephemerate Eternal Witness to get back a land. I'm going to keep attacking with this. Okay, Thought Scouring Me seems fine. Oh, it's a 3-2, eh? So now I get to, I guess, ephemerate this guy. And force some interaction if they've got something, like a drown. Nice. Hitting a land would be awesome. We do hit a land, and I think I might want to play it. Like, we've got enough. Yeah, I do want to play it as a land. All right, so Glasspool Mimic, very interesting here. We've got Force online, but I'd really rather keep Thassa in hand in this situation. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with these creatures at some point so that we don't get milled out. Wow, so defensive. So defensive. I think I mean, Eternal Witness. Just get back white for now and just, I've already got the Ephemerate in hand, so I don't necessarily need to get back Ephemerate right now. I think just getting back a fetch land and getting white seems good. Just cast a Skyclave Apparition. Okay, so we can't piece out both of their creatures here, but Skyclave Apparition seems very good. And then we can't Ephemerate right now. So yeah, just Skyclave for now seems okay. Although I have Path, which lets me leave up Ephemerate, which just seems better. We're the beatdown here, so I think I have to get in with Coatl. Thought Scouring Me seems okay. I mean, we can start forcing things at some point. So I think I just pass, and if they flash in a rogue, I think I path in response. Okay, so this is looking for an instant or sorcery. So we're going to path right now. And I think the opponent doesn't know that we have an Ephemerate because it's in the yard right now. And I think I might as well force this. Like, what am I holding on to force for if not to, like, counter their 3-drop instant spell? And again, we still have force up and Ephemerate. Well, not force, I meant Ephemerate. And then, let's see. Opponent plays a land. And I think I have to keep playing Ephemerate slowly. Okay, so let's attack. Still not attacking with Eternal Witness. Snapcaster Mage going for, I guess, a Thought Scour. Okay, that resolves. So it'd be great if they don't have any removal here, because blinking Eternal Witness to get back Path and kill their Thieves Guild Enforcer. Is this Drowned in the Lock? It is Drowned in the Lock. So let's play this Ether Vial. Pass the turn. I mean, we're getting a little bit low on cards in the deck, but not like dangerously. And at this point, having spent Drown in the Lock and I think maybe, what is this? Only one removal spell, so I do seem to be drawing a lot of lands. I think I might go for the aggressive Ephemerate here. Nah, I don't need to. Opponent down to 2 cards. Let's protect our game plan here. I mean, attack first, see if I can prompt anything. Now, do I just want to hold up Call and Ephemerate on their turn? And, you know, prevent the Skyclave from getting countered, just get it onto the battlefield through Ether Vial? I think that seems fine. Opponent choosing not to thin their deck, even though it seems like they're flooding out. Interesting. Okay, starting to try to deal some damage. I might just get, honestly, I might just get a snake here, just to kill this thing. Okay, now I can just Ephemerate my snake, I think. And hopefully it resolves. The opponent's on 1 card. Totally possible it's a good card. They have played a lot of lands. But this is a totally fine trade for me, and that's a great draw. Okay, so they're going to mill me, I guess, double trigger, so that's 4 more cards, getting fairly low. Uro's actually going to draw me a bunch of cards, but it actually gives me a clock. We can Skyclave their rogue. Or maybe just getting back Thassus seems good, but Ephemerate's pretty solid, because then I could, you know, Ephemerate the Skyclave. Not this turn, though. Let me start with Uro, see what I draw. So it seems like that's a good one. Card advantage without actually having to draw cards is good against mill-oriented decks. So now we'll play the Skyclave, kill their mill creature, and I think I might as well attack with the Oracle. It's sort of the axis that we care about. Dealing damage is what I mean. If the opponent wants to attack with the Snapcaster, that's not really a problem. Okay, so thought scouring me. They drew a card. We do get to escape Uro next turn. Bring a massive body to the battlefield. Opponent with 1 card in hand. We've got the Eternal Witness coming online with the Ether Vial. I think I'd rather leave the cards in the deck at this point. Let's go green, green, blue, blue. Wait, what? Land, 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 land. Okay. Opponent, did they draw a Drown in the Lock off the top of the deck? Mystic Sanctuary. Putting Drown on top, and now they have like a Thought Scour, I guess. Huh. What do they have here? Archmage's Charm. Drawing them the... Now I have a Force, but I can't cast it. Oh, this is annoying. They need to keep drawing well, though. So this is going to happen. I can vial in the Eternal Witness to get back something. She sort of seems like, well, don't have... Can almost escape Uro again, but not this turn, not right now. I think just like Witness, get back Path, and just attack for 5, right? So opponent has 1 random top deck in their hand from drawing 2 off of Archmage's Charm. It's a pretty nice draw for them last turn. This is a 2-turn clock. I think I don't want to crack this fetch just yet. Not sure why I didn't escape Uro yet, but I guess I'll do that second main. Of course, another Snapcaster, why not? Going to let them drown or try to drown something. If they go after the Skyclave, I guess I should probably ephemerate it. Oh, they're going after Eternal Witness, which makes this easy enough. Oh, I should have gotten back Ephemerate. That was lazy. Opponent's just conceding, even though they're not dead on board. But I'll take it. I probably should have gone for, well, Ephemerate. Then I have to crack this land. So very interesting matchup. It's sort of like a mix between aggro and mill. Seems like Veil is probably good. Path is probably good. I don't know about Auriok Champion. They have a lot of black creatures, so Purge seems good. Wind seems okay. Ashiok to hit their graveyard and take them off fetches. I'm not really crazy about the forces in the matchup, honestly. So take out all the forces. I think it might be really, really hard. Well, no, never mind. It's a mill strategy, so they can't. They didn't have any enchantments or artifacts, right? So that stays. I don't really care about Stonehorn. And let's see. It's kind of a slow matchup, so I think Watcher is fine. Actually quite good. We got Trim 2 calls. And I don't know. Uro seems great because they help us cast things. They put things in the graveyard for us. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take out 1 Oracle. I like everything else. I see there's a couple of you guys still with me, so thanks for sticking around. Wasn't satisfied with the end to the league, so I wanted to get in 1 more round. So I just jumped into a queue, got paired against blue-black Rogues. Rogues Mill, which is pretty awesome. This is a nice hand. We can't cast the Eladamri's Call for a little while, but I'll keep this. Nice. Very nice. I think I might be interested in pathing something that they play here. So let's hold up Flooded Strand. Okay, so this thing, I think I'll path it on their upkeep. If they have another one, they have another one, but I'm not really interested in ramping them so hard. Giving them 3. Oh man, my Veil went away, but I have an Eternal Witness. That's okay. If they have another one, I guess it'd be pretty good for them. But deal with their threats as they're played. We've got Eternal Witness to get back the path. Uro seems very good. Opponent with Bitter Blossom, very interesting. We do have Deputy in the deck. We didn't take it out. So here, I think actually calling for Deputy seems amazing. And I'd rather them not be able to drown it, so I think I'm just going to do it right now. This can maybe... guess I've got the lands I need. If I get white here, is that okay? No, white is no good for escaping Uro, so I think I just need to get... I guess just green here is probably fine. And they could, of course, Thought Seize me or something, but you know what? Maybe even like Skyclave is better. They're going to get one token, but we've got the Ephemerate. We can keep getting rid of their tokens. It seems like Deputy is a good grab. Don't think I didn't bring in Knight because we didn't see Bitter Blossom in game 1. Thought Scouring me. There goes Ashiok. I've got 8 cards in there, so now their Thieves Guild Enforcer, I think is the name, is going to be a 3/2 with Death Touch. It's a pretty good 1-drop. So they've got, obviously, Drown online with my graveyard full. Teferi's pretty sick. Teferi could just bounce Bitter Blossom. Draw us a card, but I think I'd rather protect Teferi. So there's no way. I don't have white in my hand, so I think I have to play this. Play Uro. If they're going, if they drown it, whatever. They don't. So now we play this tapped. We have ramped, and we've got Uro ready for next turn with our good land sequencing, and we've also got life gain. We've got Deputy coming to clean up their fairies. Are they clinging my Uro? Just extracting it. Well, that's pretty good for them, but at the same time, there's only 2 Uros in the deck, and our hand is just gasalicious. So bring it, opponent. Yep. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean, Uro is just kind of backbreaking for a deck that fills up your graveyard, right? I'm going to be able to... They could have as many Fatal Pushes and Drowns as they want, but my graveyard's always going to be full. And also, Uro exiling cards from my graveyard is just like... they have cards that care about having 8... Me having 8 cards in my graveyard. What has the opponent got here? I like leaving Bitter Blossom around just to... Is he just going to steal my... Stealing my Ether Vial. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. I can bounce the Ether Vial with Teferi. If I feel like it. I could also just play Eternal Witness and kill their thing. That seems pretty bonkers. So I think I'll just do that. Are they going to fetch? They're not going to fetch. They should have fetched, opponent. Let's see if they fetch on the end step. Okay. I'm going to take up my Ether Vial. I could also Ephemerate Deputy, take the Ether Vial, and then Ephemerate Deputy and get back the Ether Vial. Ashiok, Ashiok. I'll spend the Ephemerate. Might as well. All right, and for now, I think just getting rid of these fairy rogues seems okay. Keep them in check. Working it, Deputy. You're doing a nice job here. I think the opponent has had enough. All right. Nice games. Nice games. Fun stuff. That was why I jumped back in, because I like ending the night on a satisfying note. We had so much good stuff. Like, we were going to be able to Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, throw in like a blocker if they had any flyers. Just keep working. Ashiok, we probably would mill out the mill deck actually in this game, and we just had crazy gas coming on the top of the deck. So I mean, the deck continues to feel solid. I'm not sure that there's anything like any options that I'm not playing that I want to play, or any options that I am playing that I think aren't that great. So probably just going to keep grinding away with the deck. Unfortunately, got paired against a really terrible matchup, going for the 4-1. So we ended up 3-2, which is just fine. You know, we're slowly piling up chests. I just traded a bunch of chests. In the last couple months, I've made, $300 or something playing the deck, so it feels good. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you'd like, I'm going to just check who else is streaming right now. And I'll send you guys over to another streamer. So we've got Squat Chief. So I'm going to Squat Chief. You too, Neil. Always appreciate you guys joining me. If there's anybody here by any chance who's not following me, not subscribed, go ahead and do that if you like watching Soulherder. Just have to get that in there before I sign off. So thanks again, DV Neil. Thanks again, Paintball Demon. You guys are great. I'll be back on Thursday. Thursday afternoon, around noon, somewhere between noon and 1, usually when I start. And it's just going to be more Soulherder. So if you want to see more, make sure you tune in on Thursday, and I'll see you guys there. Bye.